What's good, guys? Welcome back to Water Dragon. Today we're going to be doing a video that I actually spent a lot of time making, and I had a lot of difficulty making the decisions for the ranking. So if you disagree, it makes sense. But today I'm going to be discussing who my top 5 pure strikers from the Blue Lock project are. So here's an FYI. This is purely for the striker position. So these are the 5 players which I think are best suited as striker, a traditional number 9, such as Benzema or Lukaku or Lewandowski or players like that, not like wingers and stuff. So it is solely based on their striker ability. So as I'm gonna talk later in the video about how my player rankings for these 5 players are different from the striker rankings. And number 5, I got the wild card Kunigami Rensuke. Kunigami Rensuke basically displays what a striker is. But he did turn quite emo after the wild card. He went from that to this, so he did get quite emo. But he has a really good physique, and it was shown in the game against Shido. And the wild card just made him that much stronger. He had a really good physique before the wild card, but with the wild card, he has contention with Barou for the best physique in Blue Lock. He's also a very traditional number 9 where he stays in front of the goal and gets goals like the lefty shot he did against Barca. So he is a very good pure striker. Even though he isn't that good of an overall player, he is very well fit for the striker position in my opinion. And I put him at number 5 for everyone from the Blue Lock project. Just so you know, players like Kaiser or Agi won't be on here because this is only the original 300 from the Blue Lock project. And then he helped Isagi get a hold on the NEL. At number 4, I have a hot take. I'm gonna put Itoshi Rin. I bet all of y'all right now are screaming about why I didn't put Itoshi Rin higher, but hear me out. I feel like Itoshi Rin is more of a creative player, so he could also fit both cam and striker with his shooting abilities. And the first time we were introduced to him, his scoring abilities were fantastic, where he casually just scored from the center line in the second selection, and he ended up beating Isagi in the second selection as well. In the U20 game, he hit the flow late into the game when it was 3-3 and played a very vital part in stopping the best player that we knew since then from Itoshi Sai. He entered flow so that he could destroy both Itoshi Sai and our protagonist Isagi. And he did quite a lot. He was, in my opinion, he very well could have been the MVP of the match over Sai, Shido, and Isagi. Both him and his brother played a lot into the match, and I feel like just Itoshi Rin, just how much he was dedicated to it. He just always dedicates his life to soccer, and he is a very good player, and he is most definitely the best player on this list. So, in my opinion, Itoshi Rin is overall a better player than the players that I'm putting at number 3, number 2, and even number 1. It's just that I don't feel like he has as good striking abilities as them as he can. He's also a very versatile player, though, because we could slot him in at central attacking midfielder or on one of the wings, and he would still make a very big impact. Whereas a player like Kunigami is basically very fit to be a striker, but he can't make that much of an impact, and he mostly just stands in front of the goal, even from the very start, even from Team Z. So I feel like Itoshi Rin is gonna be a very interesting compared to the other 4 strikers on this list. At number 3, I got my favorite character, Nagi Seishiro. Ever since we first introduced to Nagi, he was an absolute beast in the striker position. He got very overwhelming passes from Rayo and completely dominated Team Z basically the entire game. Then he left Rayo to join Isagi, and he played a pretty big impact in the U20 game as well, where he got a goal and played a pretty vital part in the offense. Probably the most important player in their offense besides Rin and Isagi, in my opinion, and was probably the 5th or 6th best player in the match after the obvious 4 and maybe Aiku. In the Manshine game, he had really good development though, where he tried making attacks with Agi at first, but then defeat Isagi when the score was 2-1. He went up to Rayo, and he convinced them to work together. And then they both entered flow and scored what is by far the best goal in Blue Lock. Like, oh my god, it was actually crazy. Like, I literally had chills reading the panels for this. The 5-shot revolver fake volley. If you disagree, you're wrong. If you agree, good job. Anyway, and then he hit one of the coldest celebrations. That one singular goal got him 88 million. I pretty much say this every video at this point, but this singular goal got him $88 million in the Neo Egoist League, which is at least like 3 times more than basically every other goal. And number 2, I got the Zesty Demon, Shido Ryusei. I think I'll pretty much know who's at number 1, but Shido was an absolute force in the U20 game. The amount of attacks that he did was absolutely wild. Like, he scored 2 super goals in the same match. First up, he started off with the Dragon Drive, which was basically a super hard shot. Look how many people are in the box right now. Karasu, a bunch of NPCs, Sendao, Yukimiya, Aryu, Chigiri, Yugagamuru, Rin. That literally everyone is in the box, and he hits a spectacular goal, which makes the game 2-2. But later, bro just pulled out, "They don't know me, son." Bro straight up pulled out the line, "They don't know me, son." And boy, nobody was ready for what happened after he declared that. Big bang drive. A goal from basically 40 yards out without looking at the goal, from backwards, with Gagamuru, Rayo, and Aryu all rushing to defend him, where he had 3 straight attacks, and bro was literally deciding to go back. Then his freaking cells were telling him to score that goal. His body cells straight up went and said, "You gotta score this, mate. You gotta score it." I mean, overall, I think Shido is like an overhyped character. Like, a lot of people put him as like their favorites. I don't really like him that much, but like, this goal, you cannot say anything bad about it. In my top 10 goals video, I put it at number 2. It's very rightfully up there. He hit it right in the womb, boys. He hit it right in the womb. And then he pulled out a very good celebration, and he really proved to the world who Shido Ryusei is after pulling out the "They don't know me, son." Anyway, I think y'all know who's at number 1 at this point. Shoei Barou. This is actually my best friend's favorite character, while Nagi is my favorite character. And I think right now, he's just in the Neo Egoist League. He's like actually insane. From the very start, in like the 5th chapter, he was already introduced as like this like almighty king and stuff. In the 2nd selection, our boy Isagi completely violated him by saying, "I'm telling you not to get in our way, you donkey boy, you loser, you retard." Like, bro straight up humbled him. And then what does he do? Bro comes out with a lion and just devours the game, where he dribbles past all the way to himself. I literally have the 8th book, so I remember what happened. He said, "I can be one piece of the goal," and was about to pass to him. But just like he forced pass, his body basically just forced him to dribble. His body just didn't allow him to pass. The egoism, Barou is literally the biggest egoist in Blue Lock. And then he just went to Isagi and said, "I'll never lose to you again, boy. You got me once, you never get me again." In the U20 game, he was basically just put in as a trump card when, after the previously mentioned Shido Ryusei scored the Big Bang Drive, which was the best goal in the game. Then basically just saved the U20 by just like chasing after Rin and Isagi. Like, they just couldn't read what he was trying to do. The U20 defense was completely flabbergasted because no one could understand what this man was trying to do. He was stealing the ball from his own teammates. And then he hit a very cold celebration, just ripping his shirt off and showing off his amazing physique, which is, in my opinion, the best physique in Blue Lock. Anyway, if he does this good while stealing the ball from his teammates, how good would he do if he actually has a team centered around him? Just casually 100 million offer, the first place in Blue Lock and scoring a hat-trick in the Neo Egoist League, which is basically world-class teams. He's the only one to score a hat-trick so far. Casually just pulls up with a 100 million offer, twice of what Isagi has right now, and basically just overshadowing everything else. Nagi at 88, Bachio at 66. 100 mil just went crazy. I don't think anyone's expecting Barou to pull up and get there and just randomly have a hat trick. I actually started like way after this happened. Like I started reading Blue Lock in like June or something. So like we were already on like chapter like 200 and 200 like 19 and stuff. So like yeah, it was way past this. But I can tell when y'all were reading Blue Lock, you were not expecting this to happen. Anyway. After Isagi scores his lefty shot, then Lorenzo dribbles up the field, passes to Barou, and he delivers. Just casually does this cold line. Excellent work. Serve me, Ubers, because I literally own y'all at this point. But nobody could have expected what will happen next. After Isagi and Kaiser basically blocked this kid's shots like 5 times, and Gagamuru casually just entered the flow, his ego just came back. Like, this is why I call him the egoist. Burgess came back. He's like, I don't live for some lukewarm, predator-minded future. I will become the king while still being an unruly brat. But in the future, if I can't become the number 1 king after this, I'll die honorably. One of the coolest panels in Blue Lock so far. And I say this as, like, a really Barou fan. Like, he's probably, like, top 10. He is a W character. I mean, I like him over, like, Shido and probably over Rin, but, like, he's not up there on my favorites with, like, Kaiser and Isagi. And then he hit a crazy goal. This goal was after I uploaded my top 10 goals video, but this would definitely be up there. I think he could easily be top 5, up there with Kaiser's bicycle kick. It was actually crazy. Anyway, if you liked it... Anyway, now I'll say what I think my top 5 players thing is for the 5 players that I mentioned here. 5th, I would still go Kunigami. He just, like, really overshadowed by just how good the other players are. 4th, I would probably go Shido Ryusei because we haven't seen much of him after the U20 game. 3rd, I would still probably put Nagi. 2nd, I would put Barou, and then 1st is Itoshi Rin. Like, there's no other answer. Itoshi Rin solos everyone on this list as an overall player. Like, if I had to choose one of these players to have on my team, I would choose Rin. But if I had to choose them to play the striker role, I would probably choose Barou. Actually, no. I would probably have Nagi biases and choose Nagi for the striker position. But if I was, like, trying to, like, be completely logical off of what we have right now, I would choose Barou. Anyway... So basically, Shido drops from 2 to 4. Barou moves from 1 to 2. Kunigami stays the same in 5th. Rin jumps from 4th to 1 just because of he's the only one on here to have Metavision. I mean, he literally has Metavision. He got Metavision before Isagi. We all know what he used in the U20 game was Metavision. Anyway... make sure to join my Discord server, link in the description. I'm always active on there. I might even use some of y'all's videos idea. I have a channel for video ideas. We actually already have 40 members, which is kind of crazy. Even though like 20 of them are my friends, a lot of y'all have actually joined already. So I thank y'all for that. And let's try to get to 200 subs. And if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.